loved Mustangs, and I actually used to own a Boss 302 Laguna Seca, and the Chevy Camaro was always just that other muscle car that was built in Detroit. I never really paid much attention to them until recently with the recent generation, especially the 5th gen Camaro. The Z28 was one of the favorite cars that I'd driven in a long time. And then the 6th generation Alpha platform launched, and it earned a ton of extremely positive reviews, and it looked like they had made some really great improvements. So I've been really looking forward to driving the brand new Camaro SS. Today I am in this 2017 Camaro 1LE. It has the V8, the 6.2. It makes 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. 1LE only comes with a 6-speed manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. Obviously, it's a Camaro, it's a muscle car. And the modifications they brought to this vehicle by bringing parts from the big boy Camaro Z28 make this thing a serious performance car. The 1LE package now comes on 3 different vehicles. You can get a V6 1LE for the first time ever. There's obviously this one, the SS 1LE, and now with the latest released Z28 1LE, which will lap the Nürburgring on par with some supercars. So the mid-level one right here, I think it's actually the sweet point of the pricing range in terms of performance. If you're a little more compressed on budget, go to the V6 one, which from what I hear is still very impressive. Obviously, if you have more money to spend, you can go get the Z28 or the ZL1, but this thing is really impressive. So the 1LE package is a $6,500 option, which is pretty much a performance package for this vehicle. As I mentioned earlier, it brings a lot of parts from the ZL1. You get magnetic ride, you get these Recaros as standard, you get big 285 and 305 tires. It's got bigger upgraded brakes, upgraded suspension bits, and it allows this thing to lap a lot of tracks as fast as some cars that cost a lot more money. I think I remember reading this is essentially as fast as a previous generation Camaro Z28 around Laguna Seca, which, if you think about the two, the Z28, yes, had a little bit more power, but it has no interior, it has massive sticky tires. I mean, no sound deadening, no carpets. This thing is nice and comfortable and usable. Impressive handling. From a driving perspective, I love it. This suede covered steering wheel is the perfect size, flat bottom. It's small, the steering is direct, the car immediately feels alive. This, the Z1LE comes with a short throw shifter, which is excellent. This is actually the first car I've ever driven with rev matching, and I like it a lot. No, I'm not a race car driver, so yeah, maybe I'm not that good at heel-toe downshifts, but this thing makes it perfect. The first time I tried it, I actually laughed out loud. I was like, holy crap, that was awesome. Engine is great and responsive. I think the biggest part to me is the way this thing sounds. It has an active exhaust, so when you change modes, it does go from loud to quiet. The owner of this one, you can actually configure it where, regardless if you're in track or sport mode or like what other weather modes are, the exhaust sound is always in full out loud mode, and it sounds great. I think my biggest complaint with the Mustang GT of this generation was, even with the track package, it's way too quiet. And they went for the smooth, refined, silent approach, and it just doesn't make any noise. It's a muscle car. It should sound like this thing. It sounds excellent. From an exterior standpoint, when the latest Camaro first launched, I wasn't very impressed with it from pictures. Like, wait a second, they went a little too high-tech features with the sculpting and stuff, but as time has gone on, I've seen these in person and different configurations have come out. I've really grown to like it. The massive grille up front looks so aggressive. The new updated daytime running lights are great. I will say they didn't really solve the visibility problem. It still feels like you're sitting down in the vehicle and you can barely see out of like a tank slit due to the high belt line here. But with the 1LE specific, you get like the front splitter, the spoiler, you get a black satin hood, you get the 1LE specific wheels. It looks a little lower, wider, and meaner. This car has blacked out badges, it has smoked taillights, tinted. It looks really aggressive and bright yellow with a good contrast to black. This is a good looking muscle car. Interior, amazing. They really stepped it up on this generation. Material quality is really good for a muscle car. The screens and displays are very crisp and clear. The Recaro seats are the perfect balance of being restrictive enough where they're supportive, but they're not too much so that it's uncomfortable. Nicely padded and bolstered. This shifter covered in suede. Everything about this interior has been designed in a way that I'm really, really impressed with. If we talk about value, the 1LE it gets a little bit expensive for a muscle car. I mean, it's into the mid 40s. It's a $6,500 package. But from a value standpoint, I think it is really, really worth it. It completely transformed this car and makes it into a track monster. The capability jumps by so much. If you just look at the track times, what this thing is lapping head to head against, it's impressive. It's as refined and as good to drive and as well balanced as cars that cost twice as much, in my opinion. There were apparently some discounts. The owner of this got it for a very good deal, but I'd say the 1LE is the bargain. This thing drives so much better than the competition and on par with stuff that is way higher. How much did I desire it? I'd give this an 85. I really do love it. From the interior refinements, the way it handles and drives and rides, it's got magnetic ride. It sounds great. This transmission, the shifter is so crisp. I love the short throw shifter. Rev matching is actually really nice. The clutch is a perfect amount of weighting. It's easy to drive, easy to live with. Overall, I think Chevy killed it with this. I'd prefer this over a Mustang GT track pack. Hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.